Social media is networking on steroids. And once you truly understand that, you'll never look at content the same way again. Most entrepreneurs are approaching social media completely wrong. They're posting, but they're not connecting. They're showing up, but they're not building relationships. And it's because of that they're not getting clients. And the reason is simple. They don't understand what social media actually is. So let's take it offline for a moment. Every business owner understands networking. You go to an event, you introduce yourself, you meet people, you have conversations, and you build trust. And over time, that turns into opportunities, referrals, clients. Nobody walks into a networking event expecting immediate results. They don't walk in, shake one hand, and close a deal on the spot. It's a process. It's relationship building. It's positioning. It's consistency. If that's how networking works in real life, why do we expect social media to work any different? Here's where most strategy goes wrong. They treat social media like a billboard instead of treating it like a conversation. They post things like, check out my business. Here's what I offer. Buy this. But there's no context, no relationship, no trust. And then they wonder why nothing happens. Let me give you a real world comparison. Imagine walking into a networking event and immediately saying, hi, here's what I sell. Do you want to buy? Now, we've all experienced it and we get the ick because it feels awkward. It feels forced. We repel people and it rarely works. Yet, that's exactly what most business owners are doing online. And then concluding social media is hard and doesn't work. The moment everything changes is when you stop thinking like a salesperson or what's in it for me. And you start thinking like a communicator and a giver. Instead of asking, what should I post today? You start asking, what conversation am I trying to have? Who am I trying to reach? What do they need help with? And why would they trust me to solve it? Because content is not about posting how amazing your offer is. It's about connection, communicating. And communicating builds relationships. And relationships are what earns business. Now, at Brand Media, we don't just create content, we engineer the process. And here's what that looks like. Every piece of content should follow a simple structure. Attention, because you have to earn it, that's your hook. Something that makes people stop the scroll. Because if you can't get that, nothing else matters. The next is connection. Now that you have their attention, you need to make them feel the most important thing, which is, this is for me. This is where you speak directly to their situation, their problem, their reality, not your amazing business. Next is trust, because now that you have shown them you understand, that you've done this before, that you can help, that is where your authority gets built, by demonstrating competence. Just because you sound good saying it doesn't mean your buyer is willing to invest their money in your solution. You have to prove it instead of leading with, trust me. And the last step is direction. Now, this step is missed by many because they don't guide people on what to do next. Every piece of content should lead somewhere. Follow, message, book a call, visit a website. The problem is that if there's no direction, there's no conversion. And here's a plain truth most people may have a hard time hearing. Posting alone doesn't grow your business. Neither does content. Strategic content does. But there's a difference between posting content and creating a system that turns attention ultimately into clients. Because one video seen by the right person can change everything. It can lead to a conversation. It can lead to a deal. It can lead to a partnership or a long-term client. But that only happens when content is intentional. Now, let's go back to networking for one more moment. Imagine if you only showed up to one event and then disappeared for 3 months. You wouldn't build momentum. You wouldn't build relationships. The same applies here. Consistency is what builds familiarity. Familiarity builds trust, and trust leads to business. And the beauty of social media is that it compounds. Every video, every post, every message builds on top of the last one. We are living in a time where you can build relationships at scale without ever leaving your home. Now, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to turn your content into leads, appointments, and paying clients, then you need to stop posting randomly and start building a system that produces results. Follow me for more, and we'll show you exactly how to ideate content and turn that into capital. Brand media, leveraging content to drive business outcomes.